This what I tell him. Look,
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with a topic session. And today we have PJ Martinez with us, and she's involved in lots, owner of a CrossFit gym, does lots of different things with fitness, and so thankful to have her. But today we're going to talk about perseverance in the face of defeat. And that's our topic. And so if you want to go ahead and talk about your story and scenario, I know we were talking off air about a situation that kind of sparked this. So kind of what sparked the topic for you?
Yeah, so when you ask me about the topic, I always go, oh man, why do I got to think of the topic? But, I've got two kids and they're both in competitive sports, and my daughter just entered middle school. And so she was playing in a soccer tournament this weekend, and the coach, we entered the tournament just to allow the children to learn how to communicate better with one another. Some of them had been gone all summer, and just trying to get them to, gel again. And they were losing like 14-0. I mean,
Ooh.
just like getting slammed. And every one of the girls on the team quit. They were so defeated. Their faces were defeated. They stopped running. I mean, it was just like everything had been depleted of them. And so, it sparked the topic of how do you persist and persevere while being defeated or in the face of defeat? How do you continue on? And so I started to kind of think about that topic and maybe how we shape our youth, how it pertains to us. I mean, every day, life is always testing us and challenging our resolve, and how do we keep on even when things are not going the way we planned, so
Yeah. All right. So I think it's I think it's an awesome topic because we all go through that. It doesn't matter, if you're, a teenager playing soccer. It doesn't matter if you're in the gym, in life, we all go through situations to where we feel defeated.
We do. I think, when you look at it in the grand scope, it could be, like you said, it could be playing a competitive sport, any sport, really.
Yeah.
It could be your job. Maybe, you're kind of jockeying for a promotion, or you're running a business, or, absolutely everything. There's always obstacles that you have to face. Always, always, And how do you refuse to become discouraged, or how do you have a mindset to get around the discouragement, to kind of persist and move on? I think that without being persistent, you don't have the growth. Your growth is kind of hindered, and your development as a person, all that is hindered. And so, especially when you see it in our kids, because it's impactful. You see it in the kids and you're like, man, how do you tell your kids, don't quit, don't quit. I know you're losing, but don't quit, So I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're good. I'm following along. I'm listening. I think
I mean, I made bullet points for myself, I might ramble, so I made bullet points.
and that's okay. That's okay too. I think one thing that's good is, especially when it's something that you're passionate about, when it
Yeah.
hits home,
Mhm.
like it's your kid, so like you're gonna be real passionate about that, and I get that, and so I'm okay with it, PJ. Okay, but
Uh,
I have some points as well, and I just wanted to make sure that you were able to hit your points. There were some things, when we discussed off air that we were going to talk.
yeah.
I had some points too. I think on to that, you said, how did you tell your kid to keep fighting? I think you just kind of let them know that, really, like, you don't understand this now, but it'll make you better from going through this experience,
Yeah.
and I think you find ways to make it relevant in life, because in life, just like I said earlier, there's going to be lots of situations to where, I mean, you just feel like the weight of the world is on you and you are just defeated. But
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you got people depending on you and you can't quit.
You can't quit. And you can use kind of the soccer analogy because she was playing soccer at the time, and this is just in everyday life.
Yeah.
If you are, if you have to focus on your next steps,
That's it.
right? You have to keep moving forward. Nobody, you don't accomplish anything sitting still. So as long as you're moving and you're moving
Mhm.
forward, I think that, and how we tell our children that is, you can't move into success by sitting down, right?
Yeah.
And so it's the same on the soccer field, right? I mean, if you're standing still, guess what? You're not you're not going to go anywhere. You're never going to score. You're not going to do this. So life, it's the same thing. I mean, I think that's why people, just when you just want to look at it from a moving forward perspective and going,
I agree with that.
you can't be successful if you're at a standstill,
Yeah. I think you can also incorporate the bicycle analogy in that too. On the
Yeah.
bicycle, if you're trying to go somewhere on your bicycle, but you have to pedal. You have to move. Like you
You never
can't
see me ride a bicycle.
you can't
Are
you
you
can't
kidding
sit still on a bicycle and expect to go anywhere.
That's
If you
exactly.
expect to get some movement and achieve some things and go some places and see some things, then like
Yeah.
you're gonna have to keep pedaling,
Yeah.
and it's the same way, once you stop your feet, you're beat,
That's right.
you
That's
know.
that's that's really. I mean, I'll run behind your bicycle, Chip. but
That's too funny, man.
I'll still be moving forward. I'll just be running behind you at a slower pace.
That's it. But you're mentally tough enough too, though, that you could probably be running faster than most
Uh,
people can be on the bike. Okay.
oh my gosh. I think too that I know that it's always good to have a foundational support system
Yeah.
around you. But I think that sometimes too, you have to have the mental capacity to support yourself, and motivate yourself.
Mm.
I think that sometimes success is I would say, a road sometimes that can be lonely, if you look at
Super,
it that way.
super lonely.
Yeah. And so while you have a great support system around you and people who want to see you succeed, sometimes the road can be a little lonely. And I think that your mental capacity in saying, hey, I need to motivate myself. Hey, looking at it from the perspective of how do I tell myself I can do this? Oh, I know that I can do this. Hey,
Yeah.
I believe I can do this.
Right.
Um, you know, how do you instill that in yourself? It's practice,
Yes, and
learning it.
And that's what I was gonna say too. Like with that, going through that, reps make you better. You know,
Yeah.
the more you go through it, the more
Yeah.
you'll see what you don't want. You know,
Yeah.
like in that case, like no, y'all, we're not losing. Like we're gonna get in practice and we're gonna work.
Right.
Like all of this social life. No, get
Yeah.
out there and kick the ball. Let's do the
Yeah.
drills. So
Yes.
I think that promotes a sense of, just like you said, mental awareness, mental toughness, to where
Right.
you push yourself to be better. And to elaborate on what you said too, as far as, you have to have that inner, push yourself and
Toughness.
get through it, inner toughness, mental toughness.
Yeah.
um I think when you dig deep and you go through those things, I think you develop that. Same like in weights.
Yeah.
Like it's just, and nobody's gonna move that bar if I don't move it.
Nobody's gonna move it for you.
Yeah, like if I expect to get this many reps or do this weight, like
Yeah.
like I can't call somebody to come in here and pick this up for me. I got to get it.
Right.
And you
That's
have to
right.
push yourself. And if you don't get it, well, guess what? I've got to work harder on the
Right.
reps so that when I max again, like, no, I'm getting it.
I was talking to and this was a long time ago, and this is kind of a random story, but I was at kind of a wellness doctor, and I thought about this analogy today when I was thinking about the topic was, you know, she, I don't know, she was, well, not a clairvoyant, but someone who sees things. And she's like, "Hey, do you mind if I talk to you?" And she said, when you walked by, she had said something about my aura, but she said, I saw that you were stressed, and I saw you on a mountain, and there was a boulder in front of you. And I would tell you that the boulder, you need to walk around the boulder, right? And so I was thinking about that analogy today, and it's the same principle of, um, you know, people don't, I say trip on a mountain, right? They don't trip on a mountain. They stumble on the pebbles, or they walk around the boulder. And I thought about that today. I thought about her boulder analogy, and I thought about, people don't trip on mountains. They trip on the steps or the things that are on the mountain that trip them up, those small pebbles, those little things. But guess what? They get back up because they have a destination to go to, right? So it's the
Love
same
that.
principle. So I just happen to think about, I think, her, I just happened to think about that analogy today and think about, that lady said that to me once, it was a
Yeah.
few years back, but I thought it was appropriate. I don't know what she was, but she saw something.
Yeah, I think that's a great analogy. I think it goes well with it. Were there any other bullet points that you wanted to hit that you had? I wanted to make sure that you got your bullet points. Yeah.
No, I'm a planner. So no, I think that we, I don't know. I think that maybe, are there ways that you can, like, questions for thought, right? Like, what are your next steps if you're being defeated, right? Of course, never look at anybody else's success or their timetable, because you're on your own. Your life and your success stories are driven by your timetable. And but questions for thought were, all of those little defeats, they pose opportunities, right? How can I try harder? How can I push myself further? You know, I think those who persist at something that they've maybe failed at, the task becomes easier. Not necessarily, not the ability to perform the task becomes easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Not necessarily the task itself, it's the ability to perform that task.
yeah, reps make you better.
Reps make you better.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that persistence kind of comes along with it. Like, what do those little defeats teach you and how to persist? You know, I put failure, I said no failure for someone who realizes the power to never give up. Basically, failure doesn't exist for people who are determined, right? They're not. It's, if you've made a mistake, you're trying, you know,
And,
you're not,
and
you're not,
you can't go wrong if you're trying.
yeah,
Like if you're giving effort, like you can't go wrong. You're either gonna win, or if you
yeah,
fail, you're gonna learn from your failures or learn
right.
from your mistakes, which will make you better the next time. So really, it's a win-win if you're giving effort.
It is, and I think that's a big thing. We always tell our kids, "We'll never be upset with you," because you know they I know they seek approval, you know, from their parents. They seek approval, like, oh my gosh, my parents are going to be upset with me. We're losing. And we've always told our kids, as long as we see you trying and that you're determined, we'll never be upset with you. You know, if I see you picking daisies on the field, well, it's a different story. But, you know, there's never any reason for us to be upset if we see them determined and trying to accomplish, you know, I mean, accomplish whatever their goal may be. So, so that's my, you know,
That's your points.
those are my points. Yeah.
Well, I think, kind of in closing, I think one big deal for me, I think similar to everything that you said, I totally agree with the mental toughness, the mental capacity. Uh, you learn from the experience. Reps make you better. You learn, learn from the experience. But the big deal for me is, I think at the end of the day, when you look back on it and reflect on it, if you persevere in the face of defeat, I think it's worth it.
It is. It
You
is. It
know,
helps you grow. It
yeah,
helps you, yes, it helps you develop as a person.
yeah,
See where you can, it does help your mental toughness,
for
right?
sure.
I mean, what kind of person are you? Are you going to sit back and always go, oh, I'm never going to win. I'm not, you know, or am I going to succeed? You know what? It's all right. You know,
Whatever it is,
one
bring
small
it
step,
on.
right?
Yeah, it makes you a tough joker. Hey, come on, let's go. And
Yeah,
it helps you. It helps you, like you said, it gives you the ability to face those challenges.
yeah.
And have confidence while you're facing those challenges. Come on, let's go. I hit you in the mouth. Come on, let's go. You know, but put some weight on that bar. Let's go.
Yes,
Yeah,
put some
let's
weight on that board.
go.
It's not gonna pick it up itself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know if I can get it, but I'm sure gonna try it. I know
Yeah,
that.
you
You know,
know.
and I think that those are the things that when you persevere, I think that's what you get out of it. So, thank you, PJ,
You're
again for
welcome.
taking the time to talk on the topic with me. I
Yeah,
think
no problem.
it's gonna help lots, and so thank you guys for checking out this topic session of the Success Chronicles. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Bye. Thank you.
All righty. Go get it.